Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to an all-new Let's Play of Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy, where today we now move on to Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back, my all-time favourite Crash Bandicoot game. So, let's do this. Of course, at first we'll watch the opening cutscene again, just like we did in the last game.
Crystals, of course. No!
But Dr. Cortex, to reach full power, we need not only your master crystal, but also the remaining 25 slave crystals from the surface. How do you expect to retrieve them when we don't have any Earthbound operatives left?
You fool! Do you think I'm unaware of the situation? If we don't have any friends left on the surface, then we'll need to find an enemy.
Crash! Crash! Dad! My battery is fried! Make yourself useful, big brother, and bring an extra battery for me.
Okay, so that was the opening cutscene to Crash Bandicoot 2 in n.sane Trilogy, which in my opinion is actually quite impressive. However, as you may notice, there's this introduction stage right here, which you could skip in the original game. However, you can no longer do that in n.sane Trilogy because it's actually compulsory now, so whereas if you skip the opening cutscene, in the original game, you could skip this, however you no longer can. Which I actually think is quite a good thing, because I actually like doing this opening cutscene and, well, this opening stage. So if I ever wanted to skip the cutscene, I can still do this stage. Like when speedrunning, for example.
Well. If it isn't Crash Bandicoot, welcome. I apologize for the crude means used to bring you here, but I'd rather expect a written invitation would have been turned down. I need your help. Surrounding you are a series of 5 doors. Through each door lies a well-hidden crystal. The crystals look like this. Bring me the crystals, Crash. That is all I will say for now. We will speak again.
So if you've probably just noticed, in Crash 2 you get cutscenes in the warp room through these holograms right here. However, the first level we're going to do is Turtle Woods. Although I'm not going to complete the level straight away because I'm actually going to show you what will happen if you keep exiting the level and not collecting the crystals. So if we exit the level right away, this is how Dr. Neo Cortex responds.
No, Crash. I said bring me the crystals. Now, get back in there.
However, that's just once. We're actually going to do it 3 times.
No, Crash. To save the world, I need crystals. Crystals! One more time. They look like this. Crystals, Crash. Go back through one of those doors and bring me crystals.
So we're just going to do it one more time right here.
Look at the doorways. There is a big crystal-shaped slot. Fill all 5 crystal slots in this warp room by retrieving 1 crystal from each of the 5 areas. Only after we have filled all of the slots in this room can we continue on our quest. This is the last time I remind you.
I think this is the last time. I'll try it one more time anyway. Nope, only does it 3 times. But if I'd have done that when I didn't have any trophies unlocked, that would have unlocked a trophy. I think it's called Cortex N, where of course you exit the level 3 times without collecting the crystal and make Cortex pretty angry. So anyway, here's the first level, Turtle Woods. However, as you may notice, I am not actually breaking any boxes, because if you don't do that, you'll get the blue gem, which comes in very handy in Hang 8. But there's one interesting thing you might notice, which I've noticed straight away when I started playing n.sane Trilogy when it first came out, is that these woods levels look very different now. As in comparing Turtle Woods and the Pits. Of course in the original game one was raining and one wasn't. However, you may notice that in Turtle Woods right here, it's raining. And it's sort of like got this dark, sort of like misty weather as well to it, as you can see. So they've done quite well with the ambience right there of a level. So now I am going to just death abuse, because I could complete the level and go back in. However, I just do a death walk right back to the start of the level. And now I'll go through the level another time to where I break all the boxes. And there's this secret area down here, which I never knew of as a kid, which you just body slam right here. And it takes you down to this underground area right there, where there's lots of crates located. So as I may have said before quite a few times in my other Let's Plays of Spyro the Dragon and Crash Bandicoot n.sane Trilogy, Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back is my all-time favourite Crash Bandicoot game. I'd say in my top 5s. Well, actually, I'm just going to point this out at the minute. In the original, it was harder to get back up once one of these went down. But now, you can just do a slide, spin and jump, and it's easy to get back onto these top sections right here. In fact, I think you can go from one of these platforms to another. Almost, but I'm sure I've done it before anyway. There's also this Nitro Explosion, which I believe the only Nitro boxes in this, or the only Nitro crates in this level are those underground, where we've just been right now. But as I was saying before, Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back is my favourite Crash Bandicoot game of all time. If I had to say my top 5, going from least to best, even though they are all really, really good, I'd go Warped, the original Crash Bandicoot game, Twinsanity, CTR, and then, of course, this. Although I do love all Crash Bandicoot games, I just said least favourite, but I love them all. Same as I've mentioned many times before about Spyro being 2, 1, 3 in order of best to least. And now you can spin jump right out of these pits. But this is something interesting that they've changed in the original game. In the original game, you would simply jump around the side right here to skip them. However, this is not so easy anymore. So if you don't know how to slide and spin and jump, which you should be able to because it is pretty easy to do, you've got to defeat all of the enemies in this part here. Which I have to in this one because for some reason this wall seems a bit higher. That's one of the first things I actually noticed when I started playing n.sane Trilogy actually. So that is the first level completed.
Well done, Crash. I knew I could rely on you. Now listen carefully. These holograms are hard to maintain. During the course of my intellectual pursuits, I have stumbled across a force that threatens to destroy the world. The crystals are the only means of containing it. The fate of the world is at stake. It is imperative, therefore, that you bring them to me.
Are you there, Crash? Crash! Crash! Are you there, Crash? Are you there, Crash?
So that's the first level complete, so now we move on to the first snow level, which is of course Snow Go. Which I actually quite like. The snow levels in Crash Bandicoot 2. I always have done. However, I seem to think that they seem to have sort of ruined them a little bit, especially with the ice skating. I much preferred them in the original as opposed to n.sane. And here's an interesting thing that they've actually changed. You could actually slide, spin and jump and do a glitch to get this red gem up here. However, they've positioned the gem higher up now, so you can no longer do this. In fact, quite a lot of glitches have been patched in n.sane Trilogy and Reignited Trilogy, so that you can no longer do them anymore. Especially a lot of the skips in Spyro 2, like the Glimmer skip where you can double jump, and the swimming in the air glitch in Summer Forest can also no longer be done. So now in this game, you've got to go through the second warp room, down the secret path to get the red gem. So it has to now be done the legit way. And I've actually managed to get invincibility twice in this. This is actually not very common that happens, to be fair. Or it doesn't happen very often. Anyway, let's see. So here we go, that is now the second level done of the first warp room in Crash Bandicoot 2. So now we move on to the next level, Hang 8. And I believe Brio gives you a little introduction right here for collecting a gem. I love how Crash does his dance every time he leaves the level.
So, you are helping Cortex gather crystals, yet you have acquired a gem. Interesting. Well, Crash, know this. As long as you are allied with Cortex, you are my sworn enemy, and I will do anything in my power to you. If the fate of the world is truly your concern, you must gather the gems, not the crystals. If you obtain all 42 gems, I can use them to focus a laser. Ah, yes, a laser beam that will destroy Cortex and the space station he has created. Until then, I must use my forces to stop you from gathering crystals.
I love the way that like Dr. Nitrous Brio sort of like makes a comeback in Crash Bandicoot 2. Where like makes a comeback as like a good character, as opposed to an evil character, like in Crash Bandicoot 1. Oh, this is another level where I've got to run to the end of and not actually focus on completing first, because it's actually sort of like a time trial, as you can see in the bottom right corner of the screen, to where you can collect a silver gem for completing the level within a certain time limit. As many of you Crash Bandicoot players probably all know, or if any of you are wondering what that timer actually in the corner is, what you got to do is run to the end of the level, and then you'll get a gem if you manage to reach the area in the where you exit the level where the gem is within that time. I've got 15 seconds to go, and I didn't want to do that. How did I accidentally body slam? I didn't want to do that. Oh, I don't know. There we go. So now just death abuse again. And then I can walk back to the beginning of the level, which can easily be done because, of course, there isn't a death route in this level. And now we can do another bonus round. Of which the early bonus rounds are pretty easy, but although the difficulty does increase as you get further on in the game. I'd say the hardest bonus round in Crash 2 by far is the one in Hanging Out, especially in n.sane Trilogy. It weren't too bad in the original, but in n.sane Trilogy, oh, it's awful. You'll probably see me get proper like all ragey when I come to doing that bonus round in the fourth warp room, which should be, of course, be in a later part. Of course, the gem paths do have increased difficulty as opposed to the normal route of the level. However, what's different about this gem path is it actually takes you back to where the gem platform actually taken you from. So basically, you do this round here, collect the crates that you need to collect in order to get the gem, and then it'll just take you back to where you was before. So there is no backtracking exactly to do like there will be in some later levels. Although I won't say the backtracking in Crash 2 is actually all that bad, to be honest. It's definitely a lot worse in Crash 3. Which I think the level for that is Tomb Time, if I'm correct. Where you have to like backtrack all the way through in order to go down the purple gem path to collect all of the crates. So that is now the level Hang 8 fully completed, because you can actually fully complete all of the levels as you go along, apart from some silver gems, which you of course have to go back for. However, it generally is nowhere near as bad as Crash 1 and Crash 3 in that regard. Well, that pulls his gems out of his pockets. Sometimes he knocks them out of his ear, and sometimes he actually pukes the gem. Which I do suppose is pretty disgusting.
3 crystals. Not bad. I see you are getting the hang of it. I need to conserve power. I will communicate with you again after you retrieve the 5th crystal.
Okay, so for now we have been going for, if I just get my timer back up, about 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wrap this part up as part 1, and in the next part we will complete this warp room and probably also go back for the red gem from Snowgo as well. So this has been the first part of my Let's Play of Crash Bandicoot Sane Trilogy, Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back that is. I sure hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in part 2. So thank you so much for watching.